What if I told you that a country once amongst the 10 richest in the world has been caught in a cycle of economic instability for decades? Picture Argentina, a land of vibrant culture, breathtaking landscapes and passionate tango. Yet beneath this enticing facade, the country has been waltzing to the rhythm of economic woes for much too long. From the mid-20th century onwards, Argentina's economy has been marred by persistent struggles with inflation, debt crises, and currency devaluations. In the early 1900s, Argentina was a beacon of prosperity, its wealth fueled by a booming agricultural sector. But as the decades rolled on, this once affluent nation found itself spiralling into a vortex of economic instability. Inflation became a recurring nightmare, eroding the purchasing power of its citizens and creating an environment of uncertainty. Debt crises followed suit, plunging the country into periods of severe economic contraction. The Argentine peso, once a symbol of the nation's prosperity, was subject to frequent and drastic devaluations, exacerbating the country's economic woes. But why, you may ask, has Argentina been unable to break free from this cycle of instability? The answer lies in a concept known as the middle income trap. This is a situation where a country attains a certain level of income, but gets stuck at that stage, unable to advance to a sustained period of high income growth. Argentina, unfortunately, has been caught in this trap, its economy fluctuating between periods of growth and decline, but never quite managing to maintain a steady upward trajectory. This middle income trap is not just a theoretical concept, it's a harsh reality for many Argentinians. It represents lost opportunities, unfulfilled potential, and the constant threat of economic insecurity. Despite periods of growth, Argentina consistently falls back into economic turmoil, its progress undone by the same recurring issues of inflation, debt, and currency instability. Indeed, Argentina's economic history is a complex tapestry of highs and lows, but the question remains: what is at the root of these struggles? As we delve deeper into this topic, we'll attempt to unravel the factors that have contributed to Argentina's economic predicament and explore the possibilities for its future. To understand why Argentina remains stuck in a cycle of economic instability, we need to delve deeper into the structural factors at play. One of the key factors is Argentina's reliance on a few primary export commodities, such as soybeans and beef. This leaves the country vulnerable to external shocks, as fluctuations in global commodity prices can have a significant impact on the economy. On top of this, Argentina has grappled with inefficient government spending and widespread corruption. These issues have led to fiscal imbalances and a lack of investment in key areas like infrastructure and education. When public funds are mismanaged or siphoned off, it's the economy that suffers, and it's the citizens who bear the brunt. But the challenges don't end there. Argentina also has a complex system of currency controls and protectionist policies. While these measures might have been intended to protect domestic industries, they've often had the opposite effect, stifling innovation and competitiveness. The country's businesses struggle to thrive in this restrictive environment, hampering economic growth. Moreover, political instability and frequent changes in economic policy have created a climate of uncertainty. This makes it incredibly difficult for businesses to plan for the long term, and for investors to have confidence in the Argentine market. The political landscape has often been marked by sudden policy shifts, from liberalisation to protectionism and back again, leaving businesses and investors in a state of constant flux. These structural factors, reliance on primary exports, inefficient government spending, corruption, complex currency controls, protectionist policies, and political instability, have all played a part in Argentina's economic struggles. They have created a difficult environment for economic development and have contributed to the country's recurring bouts of inflation, debt crises, and currency devaluations. These deep-rooted issues have created a challenging landscape for Argentina's economy. But how does the current situation look? Fast forward to the present day, and Argentina's economic situation continues to be a cause for concern. Let's delve into the current economic landscape. Argentina grapples with high inflation rates, soaring debt levels, and a volatile currency. Inflation is a beast that seems to be always hungry, gnawing away at the purchasing power of the Argentinian peso. With inflation rates oscillating around 50%, the value of the peso is in a constant state of flux. Then, we have the looming shadow of Argentina's debt. The country's debt to GDP ratio is at an alarmingly high level, teetering around 90%. This precarious position is a stark reminder of the country's past debt crises and the devastating impacts they had on the economy and the Argentinian people. The instability of Argentina's currency, the peso, is another pressing issue. Frequent devaluations have resulted in the peso losing significant value against the US dollar, making imports more expensive and further fueling inflation. Now, let's turn our attention to recent policy changes. The Argentinian government has been taking steps to address these economic challenges. One notable measure is the agreement with the International Monetary Fund. This pact, accompanied by a restructuring of the country's debt, is aimed at restoring fiscal stability and boosting investor confidence. Other significant policy changes include efforts to reduce the fiscal deficit. The government has been tightening its belt, cutting down on public spending, and introducing tax reforms to increase revenue. These measures are intended to bring down the fiscal deficit and stabilise the economy. However, they are not panaceas. The success of these measures will largely depend on their implementation and the government's commitment to fiscal discipline. Reducing the fiscal deficit could help stabilise the economy in the short term. But for long-term economic growth, Argentina needs to address its structural economic challenges, such as diversifying its economy and improving governance. While these policy changes are a step in the right direction, what more can Argentina do to escape its economic trap? Breaking free from the middle income trap is no easy task, but it is not impossible either. For Argentina, there are several key areas to focus on to achieve this. Firstly, diversifying the economy is crucial. The nation must reduce its reliance on primary exports, which are highly susceptible to external shocks. This could mean investing in emerging sectors or adding value to existing primary products. Secondly, improving governance and reducing corruption is another vital step. A more transparent, efficient government could foster fiscal discipline, attract investment, and build public trust. This would involve strengthening institutions, promoting transparency, and holding public officials accountable. Thirdly, adopting more open and market-oriented economic policies could stimulate innovation and competitiveness. By reducing barriers to trade and encouraging competition, Argentina could attract foreign investment and foster a more dynamic, resilient economy. Let's look at some successful examples of countries that have escaped the middle income trap. South Korea, for instance, has transformed from a war-ravaged agrarian economy to a high-income, technologically advanced nation. This was achieved through heavy investment in education, technology, and infrastructure, as well as the fostering of globally competitive industries. Similarly, Poland managed to escape the trap by implementing comprehensive economic reforms, joining the European Union, and opening its economy to foreign investment. These potential pathways highlight that with the right policy choices and political will, Argentina can transform its economic future. So, can Argentina escape its economic trap? The answer lies in a balanced assessment of the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. Argentina's quest for sustainable growth is burdened by its history, yet the possibility for transformation is tangible. The nation's prospects hinge on tackling structural issues, fostering innovation, and promoting fiscal discipline. The road to economic recovery is long and arduous, but addressing Argentina's underlying economic issues is paramount for a more prosperous future for its citizens.